Charles Van Morgan, YouTube Live. It is Friday morning, and we'll wait on people to get in here. Charles Van Morgan, Friday morning, YouTube Live. YouTube Live. It's about a little after about 6:45 in the morning. We're gonna try to do this every morning. So join us. Come on in. Got a great story for you today. A great show. We're going to talk about some things that I told you I was yesterday about the Dowling, or however you say her name, her little testimony that they try to, they do fabricate, they lie, false report under oath, and it's not under oath, but it's a false police report, but they lied under oath. We're going to talk about that, and like I promised. So let's turn this around. We'll see how many people get in here. Come on board. Thank you very much, Charles Van Morgan. I want to talk to you this morning. We'll start off by talking about my unique circumstances and what I'm about, why I'm out here, and why you should listen. I got a little unique story to tell you. I know you'll be interested in that. Charles Van Morgan Live, worldwide, evidently. So thank you all from other countries. Thank you from the United States. Come on in and join me. It's Friday morning. And jump on board. So we'll wait till people get in here. I'm going to tell you a unique story about my life, why I'm doing this. I got a little unique story that I think you'll be interested in. Live in the morning, Friday. So good morning. So we'll get our exercise in too. And we're going to cover some profound influences in my life. So yeah, let me turn this around. Yeah, Charles Van Morgan, YouTube Live, about 6:30 in the morning. Come on board. This seems to be the time where we get the most viewers. Yesterday we got about close to 12,500 people, mostly in the United States. Today we're going to talk about some of the unique experiences, why I'm doing what I'm doing. It's not probably applicable to a lot of people, but I got a unique experience, and we're going to explain to you why I'm here, what I'm about, and we're going to explain to you about the Dowling interview. It's Friday morning, early September. And remember the UT football game tomorrow, so they're 1-0. Obviously, I'm a Vol fan. So as soon as we get some more people on board, we'll get right into the story. We're out here live with my son. Fraud elections. We're still here. Maybe we'll run for governor 2026 live now. On the other side, it says, it's got my QR code. If you want to hit that QR code, donate to journalism. Contribute to journalism. There's my QR code for my Facebook live now 2026. So come on board. So yeah, we're getting a few people. God bless you all, I pray. So we'll wait just a few minutes and talk about some profound influences in my life that have affected what I do and how I think, and some special circumstances that a lot of people don't have. So you think of the song by Hank Williams. I don't drink or don't smoke, but you know, he wrote a song about, Hank, why do you drink? Why do you blow smoke? Why do you live out the songs that you wrote? So he's talking about his unique influence in his life, why he did what he did. Now, I don't drink or smoke, not even cigarettes. I think he was talking about smoking something a little more powerful than that. Although I do think the government ought to stay out of your damn business. But there's some unique influences in my life. Well, I've turned the other direction from Hank Williams. Don't drink or smoke and try to do right. Van, why do you try to do right? Why are you fighting the government? Well, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you about it. Explicate it. Them big fancy words. And maybe you'll understand, and maybe you won't, but we're going to tell you why I'm doing what I'm doing. It's an educated, life-lived perspective. Then we're going to talk about the Darling testimony I promised you about. I got it in big bright letters, huge, where you'll see what I'm talking about. Fraud, up close and personal and clear by government officials, and they've gotten by with it. They've gotten by with it to this point, but we're fighting them and we're going to keep fighting them. So let me see how many people I've got on board, and we will get right into it. Thank you all so very much. Charles Van Morgan in the morning, Unbridled News. So yeah, remember to like, share, subscribe, comment. We're letting all these people know we're live. So yeah, okay, we're starting to get a little audience. We'll get right into this. So why am I doing what I'm doing? Why am I out here on YouTube live with my son talking about people in power, the crooked government, and endangering my life to a certain extent, although I'm pretty hard to kill. There's a lot of people that try, but why am I doing this? Well, let me talk to you about some profound influences in my life to help you see where I'm coming from, tell you a story about me. So I'm the son of a widow. I didn't have a dad that I was raised with. My dad was killed before I was 2 years old in a tragic car wreck. So I was raised without a dad. My mother raised me. I'm the product of a widow woman. And she told me that taught me Christian values, which I believe. And she was a godly, God-fearing woman, disciplined me. You know, I got whipped by a hickory stick. And some people told me not only did they get whipped by a hickory stick, they had to go get their own. At least I didn't go get their own. My mom was, when she whipped me, hey, look at this, man. Dude, boy, how dangerous these people are on these damn things that about run over you here in Knoxville. Yeah, they could kill somebody. Somebody's going to get killed by one of these engine-powered machines that rides on a sidewalk for people. But watch out for them, people. But she went and got her own hickory stick and wore me out. So I learned discipline. But now some profound influences in my life where I just have to admit, like most people, and sociology teaches you, when that makes me mad. People hurt you on the sidewalks. Where's law enforcement? But I know a law enforcement officer that we'll just talk about this a second. I had a skateboarder that was riding in an area where there's no skateboarding. I'm a good Knoxville police officer, I know well. One of the great ones. And he told a skateboarder, he was skateboarding in an area where it was pedestrian traffic, it was dangerous for people, and he told the skateboarder to stop. And that's a real story. When I was a trooper, he was telling me this, and the guy wouldn't stop, so he ran, tried to chase him down. The young man took off running from him, and he chased him down, and when he was starting to grab hold of him, the guy turned around with his skateboard and was trying to hit him with a skateboard, trying to hit a police officer with a skateboard. Now, what do you think is going to happen when you try to hit a police officer, especially one that knows what they're doing, has been on the department a long time, with a skateboard? So he got out his taser. You know, he could have hit him back hard. He could have. There's a lot of different force measures you could use. But he tased him while he's running. He falls down, breaks his damn arm. Boo-hoo, feel bad for that. If a policeman tells you to stop, stop. Fight it in court, even if it's a road courts. Don't commit acts of violence against law enforcement. Fight them in court, not in that circumstance because you're mad breaking the law. Now, there might be circumstances where they just try to kill you for no reason, but if you're breaking the law and endangering the public, like these idiots fly down through here on the sidewalk from behind people, where they might step over and it could kill somebody. They're dangerous. This is a sidewalk for pedestrians. It's not for bicycles to fly down through here or people on mopeds. So yeah, I mean, and that police officer police officer tased him and broke his arm. Put him in the hospital. He didn't get in any trouble. He was doing what he's supposed to be doing. So we'll talk about some profound influence. Just want to mention that. Okay, let's see how many people we got in here. Okay, we got a bunch. Okay, Charles Van Morgan, live in the morning, unbridled. Talking about some profound influences in my life. Why am I doing this? It's not for everybody, but the main thing is the state, Tennessee, the government, Tennessee, has lied on me. They have said, and this is one of the most important ones, they have said, profound influences, they have said that I saw a wreck and knew somebody was in the wreck needing help, identified as a wreck, and continued driving by. They've lied. They've said that. They've got it through a crooked court system, crooked Tennessee judges that ruled for the governor for promotions. They didn't adjudicate the law and facts. They got a hand-picked judge to do that. They cherry-pick facts and misrepresent them, and they've said that I did that. That's what they've told about me all over the newspapers. Woke up one day after lowering the fatality rate for years, somebody in the state government in power not liking me, and that was on the front page of the paper, my picture. That's what they said about me. News articles run wild, destroying somebody. You know how they do, they get on you and destroy you. Well, I was out saving lives, and the cowards that put them on me are cowards. Increase the fatality rate. So here we go. I don't care. What they're doing is they put me in a position where they've lied on me, where they call me a dirty scoundrel. You know, they, like Clint Eastwood, they, in The Unforgiving, I think the movie was, where he went in they had his friend, Ned, they killed him, brutalized him, tortured him, and the guy had him outside his bar. And Clint Eastwood in the movie walks into the bar and he says, who's the owner of this hellhole? And they point out the owner, and he tells people to get away from him, and he shoots the guy, shoots the owner. The guy identifies as the owner, and some of the other people say, you know, you just shot an unarmed man. And Clint Eastwood says he should have armed himself before he decorated his bar with my friend Ned. You know, they should have armed themselves. Now, I'm not going to do that. That's a movie. But I'm just telling you the circumstances. And Bill said, you're Josie Wells. You killed men, women, and children. And that's what they said about him. I don't know if that's true or not. And he said, yeah, I've killed men, women, and children. So he's even relenting to the facts. I haven't done what they said. And he said, now I'm here to kill you, Bill. Yeah. And people step away from me. So I'm not here to kill anybody. I'm here to destroy them with a double-barrel shotgun of truth. So they put me in a position where they've defamed me by the court system. The courts defame people. They write out these legal rulings that are lies. Bogus, dirty lies for promotions. Tennessee court judges. They rape public coffers of your money. People ought to be mad at Tennessee judges all across the United States of America, taxpayers, because Tennessee judges steal your money. The Supreme Court justices steal your money in Tennessee. But they put me in a position to where they say I'm a dirty scoundrel. I've killed men, women, and children. That's what they claim. That's not true. That's a lie. But where's there to go but up from here? So people say, you're a damn fool out there holding a sign up and getting on YouTube Live. Well, I don't know where, and I'm not a damn fool. I don't know where else worse I could be than what they're saying about me. So they put me in a little unique situation, you know, where there's nowhere to go but up because of their lies. So I'm in a little unique situation, if you can get that little concept. And also there's a few other profound influences in my life I want to cover. So yeah, let's see. Yeah, we got a bunch of people. Charles Van Morgan live. So I ain't got nothing to lose. You know, you get somebody in the corner where they ain't got nothing to lose, they might be a little bit dangerous to you. But that's what they do. They're stupid. Stupid people in government. Just demolish people. And then they wonder why they fight back. Well, I'll fight back. That's what I'm doing. You might not be in this situation, and I don't blame you, but I'll be the front man, because they ain't got nothing on me but a pack of lies. And this don't hurt me none. I don't have to go along with social forces. The other profound influence in my life was when I was about 6 or 7 years old. I became a Christian, accepted Jesus Christ into my heart. I started understanding the difference, and it's interesting when you accept Jesus in your heart, ask him to forgive you, you understand the difference between right and wrong. You have a conscience that says, wait a minute now, I shouldn't do that, like they do in the government, lie on people. You have a live and awake conscience. Before, when I was a kid, you know, I didn't have no conscience. I did whatever the hell I wanted to do. But it was when I was presented with the truth of the gospel, I started and accepted it. I had a conscience. And people consider their conscience even when after they're Christian, but I developed a little conscience, and that was a profound influence in my life. Sometimes I've ignored it, and but it's still there, and I try to do what's right the best I can. And then when I was young, in my 20s, and sociologists will tell you, if you're a young person, don't feel bad if you get into minor trouble, your garden variety crimes, or your garden variety misconduct, because you're probably not normal. You're probably not a normal child unless you get into some kind of trouble or some kind of disobedience or something, because statistics say normally people, little children, and they growing up, that's part of growing up, they are. So if you're one of them that's avoided any trouble, lived a perfect life from a kid, you don't fit the norm. So I'm pretty normal. I found out at an early age the bad of drugs and alcohol. They'll get you in trouble. Now, it wasn't nothing that stuck, but I don't drink. I'm not like Hank Williams. I don't drink. I don't smoke. And I cuss every now and then. I'll stop that. People stay on me about that. But so getting in trouble, learning about the dangers of alcohol, and that's a lesson. There's people that can drink responsibly, and people that live upstanding lives that do drugs. I'm not your judge, but I wouldn't recommend it. And if you do hard drugs, it'll kill you. So that's a profound influence on my life, regular growing up. And sociologists will teach you that a significant finding in criminology is the age crime curve. That is a finding throughout all countries, throughout all ages. It's called the age crime curve. And it's that people age out of crime, age out of violent crime for the most part. The norm is younger people commit violent crime. So if you've been involved in learning experiences, what I like to call them when you're young, treat them like learning experiences. Pick yourself up and go on. I had those. So that's part of the profound reason why I don't drink or do drugs, because it caused me trouble. And I thought, well, if you stay off drugs, do right, you won't have any trouble. But that's not right either. Because the government, people in government power cause you trouble. So that was a profound influence on my life. Now let's move on to some more. Let's see how many people we got in here. So yeah, we got a bunch of people. God bless you all. Thank you all. Subscribe, like, share. Okay. Another profound influence was when I went to the great University of Tennessee and got an advanced level education, a Master of Science in Sociology. which in the emphasis in criminology, which taught me that a lot of people's behavior they're not completely responsible for. Yeah, I just said that's true. Society puts people in positions and situations, lifts people up, whether they deserve it or not, which is a lot of people in power don't deserve to be lifted up. They don't deserve the positions they got. You look at their education qualifications, what they do, they don't deserve it. You look how they act, the crimes they've committed, they don't deserve it, but society picks them up and puts them where they want to. I've said before, based on my education, that was a profound enlightenment, looking at the facts that the Democratic or Republican Party could basically get somebody under the bridge, under the South Knoxville, well, not the South Knoxville Bridge, I don't know there's homeless people, but under the viaduct on Broadway by the homeless shelter, and not all those people are bad. They could get somebody under that viaduct there, some homeless drug addict, thug that's a robber, maybe a rapist, and they could lift them up and put them in power, maybe in the governor's office, because the party had nothing to do with what they've earned or deserved. It's who's your daddy. It's social influences that lift people up or tear them down, regardless of what they deserve. And the government is a major perpetrator of lifting people up and incarcerating people. You look at the book that they had me read by Jeffrey Ryman. There we go, a fan. Jeffrey Ryman. Now, I don't agree with everything he says. He's a philosophical, sociological writer. And he wrote a book. It's called The Rich Get Richer and the Poor Get Prison. Now, I rewrote that title to even a more profound saying, and I agree with the death penalty, but the rich get richer and the poor get executed. And it's talking about how social forces line up to lift some people up and push people down, regardless of their qualifications and what they deserve. And so the education from UT teaches me social forces cause people to behave in certain manners or not behave in certain manners depending on social forces. Let me talk about some of these social forces that are alive and well in 2025. You look at the study that they did back in the 1960s where they had a experiment lined up where they had people that were privy to a professor stand up and drawing a line, A line long and B line obviously shorter. This is social forces example. Experiment that they did. The A line was obviously longer, B line was obviously shorter, and the professor got up in front of a bunch of students that were privy to the experiment, and they were instructed to say that the B line was the longest, when obviously it was not. It was the shortest. It was very clear. But majority of the class were instructed to acknowledge a falsity, and a few people in the class weren't told to do that. They were told, they weren't privy to the experiment. And when the professor asked everybody if you agree that the B line is longer, let's get across this road before we get killed. The B line is longer, then they, the whole class that was instructed to do that, raised their hand and said that the B line was longer when in fact it wasn't. And other people in the class that weren't privy to the experiment, significant other, raised their hand too, because everybody else, that's what everybody else said to do. So that's a profound experiment. Social forces, everybody else, so yeah, we'll go along with it, even though it was obvious. So you might want to check yourself. Look at reality. Don't look what everybody else is doing. You don't have to. That's Sociology 101. The crowd is wrong a lot of times. Another experiment they did was one in which they had somebody that was instructed to administer a shock. I think it's a Milgram experiment. Administer a shock to people that gave wrong answers in a experiment. So yeah, the light came on, and they were instructed to give administer a shock. So they thought it was a real shock. Let's get this straightened out here just a second. So we got some comments on here. Got over 100 people. They were instructed to administer a shock to people, and they thought it was a real shock. It wasn't. And they had an actor that was taking the shock, and they were instructed to administer the shock. When the person gave the wrong answer, they were in another room, I think, through a glass, and every time they gave a wrong answer, they were told, an authority figure told them to shock the person, and they were told it was just a light shock. And then they were told to keep increasing the level of shock when the person kept giving wrong answers to questions they were asked, up to the point where, and the person that was administering the shock wasn't privy to the experiment, up to the point where they were given a potentially lethal shock to somebody, and the authority figures told them to do it, so they did it. A large percentage of people, not everybody, but a large percentage of people, you know, the go-alongs administered what could have been a lethal shock that they thought was, because a damn authority figure told them to. Now that's social pressure. That can in that instance cause you to potentially kill somebody. There's a time to say, stand up and say, no, I'm not doing that, that's not right. No, I'm not going along with the program, that's not right. And there's other instances, you go in an elevator, try to stand backwards. Social pressure will make you turn around. You go out and you pick up garbage, let everybody see you pick up garbage on the street, just for no reason other than you want it to be a cleaner environment by yourself in a public park. People will look at you like you're crazy, even though that's a good thing to do. I encourage everybody to clean up the environment. That's one of the things I heard when I was on my campaign in Knoxville. Knoxvillians want a cleaner Knoxville. So that's one of the things. A profound influence that sociology had on my thinking. That's one reason why I'm here, to portray that knowledge. I'm not going along with the program. Don't have to. Not going to, don't have to. It's not right. They lied about me. Don't have nowhere to go but up. And I'm not listening to their lies. You can try to administer that shock to me. I'm not taking it. It wasn't a real lethal shock. It was an actor, but people thought they were administering a lethal shock. Some of the other sociological things is attorney is a double agent. Did you know your attorney is a double agent? You know what a double agent is? It's like a Russian spy. They're on Russia's side, but they act like they're on your side. It's deceitful, and an attorney is a double agent. You think they're on your side, but they're not. And I'm just telling you textbook sociology. I'm not making stuff up. And it's true. I mean, I've been in law school, graduated, passed the bar twice. But it doesn't matter what I do. The social forces of the crooked government ain't gonna let me get anywhere. And going along ain't gonna help the program. The only thing I can do is fight it, and I am, with something that they don't have. It's called truth. So an attorney is a double agent. You know, they're members. And this is an advantage I have over attorneys. An attorney is somebody that's graduated from law school, passed the bar, and in the eyes of the government is credible enough to practice law. Honest, they have to go through the fitness and character. In reality, it is somebody that is on their side and not on their criminal defendant's side. They're double agents. Because I'm as honest as they come. But I'm not going to back up lies. I'm not shocking somebody. That's wrong. And clean up my environment if I want to. People look at me like I'm stupid, I'll ask them to help. And you don't have to go along with the program. If the program's bad, don't go along with it. So an education influenced my perspective on life. The other thing about attorneys, I call them double agents. They did a study, and they are. I'm not a licensed attorney. I'm a lawyer, which is somebody that's graduated from law school and passed the bar. I don't have the right to practice law for other people because the crooked state of Tennessee won't let me defend them because they know I will. They know I'll back up the Constitution and not their crooked courthouse, drug-addicted Baumgardner judges, some of them. Now, there are some judges in Tennessee that are good. It's not the whole bunch. It's most of them. About 99.9% of them are crooked as hell. You'll find a few, but they're stuck in a system they can't change. I don't blame them. They got to make a living. But don't worry, honest judges. I'll help you out. Yeah, fraud elections. We won't get rid of all of them. And I'm not the only one complaining about crooked judges. So they did a study. Let me talk about the study about, now I just said attorneys are double agents. Yeah, that's just a blatant statement. Let me explain that. A study they did that exemplifies and points out that point. Let me see how many people I got on here. Thank y'all. Charles Van Morgan live in the morning. Explain why I'm out here doing this. Out here with a sign, live now. Trying to get viewers, trying to get an audience. I'll explain to you why attorneys are double agents with a true life experiment that they did in sociology. A profound influence on my life, learning a little knowledge and facts about social forces. So yeah, we got almost 200 people. God bless you all. I pray, I thank you so much. And so let's talk about attorneys being double agents. Now, I'm not a double agent because I'm not licensed by their crooked. If you got a law license, in my opinion, you're a crooked attorney for the most part, because you're bound to uphold the government, and if you tell the truth, they'll take your law license from you. They got criminal convicted attorneys, pedophiles that are attorneys, and they won't even let me be an attorney because I won't go along with their shocking people. Lethal, shocking sometimes. Hello, good morning. So, there's one that's in the road, he's good. So they did a study, a person accused of a crime. And they're in court, in criminal court, and they asked these people, whether or not they're guilty or not, is not at issue, but they asked these people, hundreds and hundreds, significant amount, who was the first person that suggested to you that you plead guilty? And we're talking about social forces at work influencing people's behavior, not their own individual choices. Influence, outside influence. And they asked them, and whether or not they were guilty or not is beside the point, because even if you're guilty, if the state can't prove their case in this country, you don't have to prove it for them. You don't have to plead guilty. The state has to prove their case, because if the state don't have to prove their case, they'll put every damn one of us in jail that stands up for our rights. And if people don't believe that, yeah, let the government have a little more power. Look what they did during COVID. They shut the economy down. That's one reason why prices are so skyrocketed right now. You can't have a society where nobody carries the load, and they wouldn't let anybody carry the load. So the government has to prove the case. So they ask criminal defendants, who first suggested you plead guilty? You know who's the first person that suggested they plead guilty? Their double agent, their attorney, is the first one that suggested that they plead guilty to a criminal offense. Now look at the social pressure, and that's your person that's supposed to defend you of a crime. And whether it's good or not, you have a right not to plead guilty, but the person that's going to defend you is telling you, suggesting to you that you plead guilty. That's a significant social influence. What if you're not guilty? Your attorney suggesting you plead guilty. You might go ahead because of outside social influence. You don't have a prayer without your double agent, and he's bound by the state. He's got to obey the state. He's a double agent. Most of them are crooked double agents. I'm not a crooked double agent. I got their legal education, training, and knowledge, and I don't have to obey their lies. So you can listen to what I'm saying. I'm not bound by the dirty board of Tennessee law examiners that are crooks and criminals, convicted crooks and criminals, but the convictions don't stay on the record because they get sweetheart deals, and I'll show you that here in just a minute. The second person that suggested to a criminal defendant, whether or not they're guilty or not, because that's not an issue, is their significant other, their wife, their spouse, or their girlfriend. So you're in court, talking about social forces, you're in court, you're not guilty. Some of them are, but the state still has to prove it. You can fight it, you can beat the charge, even a minor charge, that's insignificant. But the first person is your criminal defense attorney, the second person is your significant other, your spouse, your wife, or your girlfriend. So you got two people telling you you should plead guilty, suggesting to you that. Now you would think that it's the prosecutor that's suggesting that to you, but no, it's people in your own sphere, in your own world that you trust and respect, got that influence on you. So that's how attorneys are double agents, social forces at work. That's how it puts a lot of innocent people behind bars for years and years and years that never did a damn thing wrong. Now some of them deserve to go to jail, but when you're talking about that kind of social force, it's a heavy influence to plead guilty in a court of law when you're not. So that's a little bit of sociology. We'll go into some other social forces that have affected my thinking and caused me to be out here. The first one I said is, we'll go ahead and cross. The first one I said is, I've got nowhere to go but up. State defamation by false court judges. Let's see how many people got in here. Yeah, got a bunch. Thank y'all. So, and then my becoming a Christian, and then my education in sociology, which changed my perspective. Everybody's not completely responsible for all their actions. Imagine that. I mean, you look at the prevalence of alcohol abuse among young people, and a lot of it is not completely their responsibility because of the fact that the lack of controls on alcohol and the social acceptance of it. That's one reason why I don't drink. And if you don't drink, if you drink, hey, that's your business. I'm not judging you. I'm talking about me. My kids never seen me with a can of beer, and I'm not saying maybe you drink responsibly. I'm not judging you, but the high prevalence of alcohol, the lack of controls, the lack of knowledge about the damage that it can do has a lot of social pressure on people that it's okay to drink, and even if you can't control it, and that it can be controlled. Hello. So that's a social phenomenon, that a lot of crimes that are committed by people that are under the influence, they're drunk driving. It is a criminal offense, but the judiciary and the public refuses to recognize. You can bury these people, put them under the jail for drunk driving. Every drunk driving arrest doesn't result in a fatality, and it's not a serious offense. Yeah, I just said that's not. Most people that drink and drive make it home. I mean, they would lead you to believe that every drunk driver causes a mass fatality, causes 10 people to get killed, and we ought to just put them in jail and take their life away. Unless you're in the upper echelon, and then a DUI gets wiped off your record, and it's like it never happened. Like one of these prosecutors up here that was drinking and driving after he incarcerated somebody, and he got dismissed off his record, and he is free and clean. But if you're like me or you get a DUI and they want to act like you killed somebody, when the social availability of alcohol and the acceptance of it and the lack of realization that it can kill you and how dangerous it is, and I'm not saying you shouldn't drink, I don't know, that's up to you, but the social phenomenon of its acceptability and ease access, and the common social drinking, the television commercials, there's more put out that it is socially acceptable. So of course there's going to be a lot of drinking and driving. Now that's starting to change a little bit, but not like it should. So every drunken driving is not solely the responsibility of the drunk driver. It's a social phenomenon. It's a social phenomenon too. So we shouldn't demoralize and completely ruin somebody's life for a drunk driving, especially one that didn't kill people, or maybe they weren't that drunk. And let me mention this while I'm here. You look at the State Highway Patrol, and yeah, we'll go there. Now there's a lot of zombies out here, but they are arresting, according to the news, a lot of innocent people that aren't drunk, causing them a lot of trouble. Thankfully, they get a drug alcohol blood test that shows they're not drunk. A lot of them don't take the test because they think that's not the right thing to do, and they get convicted of drunk driving anyway. So they got a smile from the pretty girl. But so they get out of it. They don't get out of it because they didn't do a blood test. So there's a lot of wrongful convictions for DUI, and DUI can ruin your life. It's, you know, you pay thousands and thousands of dollars, thousands and thousands of dollars, and you have to pay your double agent attorney, and he might tell you, hey, plead guilty, even though you're not. And there's a lot of people getting arrested that's proven they're not guilty. Maybe somebody didn't do a blood test and they don't have that evidence. They shouldn't have had to. They suspend their license for a year, and they're not under any influence, but they don't have the proof. And their attorney says, hey, you need to plead guilty. It's thousands and thousands of dollars. And it goes on the record, and it's a one that matters on your record, because if you get a second one, it's a step up. And maybe they've ruined your life and it causes you to drink. And it's more of an increased offense. Hello, good morning. There's some people alive. It's more of an increased offense. And there's a lot of Tennessee state troopers, unlike me, that are arresting people that aren't even drunk, trying to get their numbers up, getting them damn awards. And they're stone cold sober. And if you look at it, I'm going to make an astonishing statement, but there's proof of it. The trooper that arrests you for drunk driving when you're stone cold sober, under the dictatorship and the crooked government right now, may be drunk himself while he's arresting you for drunk driving. Yeah, I just said that. The Tennessee state trooper that arrests you for drunk driving while you're stone cold sober may be drunk himself in Tennessee. The Tennessee Highway Patrol, under a major drunken sot, drunken monkey that calls the state to drive her home when she's drunk. That's a lying thug criminal that ought to be behind bars. It's called fatality rate to skyrocket. When her people arrest you, the governor's people that promoted her, knowing she stole valor, arrest you, they may be drunk. So the trooper that arrests you while you're sober may be intoxicated over the legal limit. You say, wow, you're just mad. So, no, I'm not mad, Taylor. Look in the newspaper articles that they don't cover up. There was a trooper that went to work one morning. I've seen it before. They stay up all night drinking, and they get an hour's sleep, and they're still drunk the next morning. They go to work drunk in patrol cars. And some of them drink all day and they work at night. And they think they're sober, but they're still drunk. It takes a while to get a lot of alcohol out of your system. And then they go make these poor decisions and arrest you while you're stone cold sober. There's a story in the newspaper. It was unmissed by a lot of people, but I caught it. A trooper went to work drunk, and they were having an alcohol training class, testing a breathalyzer machine. They had him blowing the breathalyzer machine, and he blew an alcohol level. A state trooper in uniform drove a state trooper car to work, blew an alcohol level. They said, what? Something must be wrong with the machine. Had him blow again, and it fluctuated just a little bit. They will. And he even blew higher. Tennessee state trooper, that state trooper badge on, that state trooper patch on, and he was drunk on the job in uniform. What if it arrested you? You've been sober. A drunk trooper would have arrested you. That's a fact. That happened. And get this now. Now, they terminated me and wrote lies about me in court rulings for going after a drunk driver. It's sad what happened to him. A lot of social influence that caused that incident that I wasn't responsible for. Social influence that, I don't know who was at the party that got him drunk, a 20-year-old, but they should have been prosecuted. But now let's go after the trooper, misdirected anger. Well, you can misdirect it all you want to, I won't take it. So anyway, the trooper tried to get his job back. They fired him, had to. You're drunk on the job, sorry, bye. He went to a Tennessee crooked court judge, probably drinks himself, probably does drugs. You know, they had a Baumgartner court judge right over here in this courthouse. Look at that beautiful bridge over there that ain't working. Right over there in that courthouse, a Baumgartner court judge. So we're losing a little bit of, no, we're still going up. A Baumgartner court judge. Hello. Got a little smile. Baumgartner court judge. How you doing? Zombies. Baumgartner court judge was raping women in the courthouse. I'm not saying all of them do that, but a dirty Tennessee court judge gave a drunk trooper, drunk on the job, his job back. Would give me my job back. Hello, ladies. And he gave a drunk trooper his job back. So he's still out there on the road. Hopefully he ain't drunk arresting you. I don't know. They're arresting people. One of them got their job back drunk on the job in uniform. So you can drive drunk on the job depending on who's your daddy. And so I just wanted to mention that. But so that's profound influences on my life. Let me cover this that I promised y'all, and we'll get off here. About to run out of my dime and your time, so we're going to cover something very important I've been promising you for days. Thank y'all for joining me. Let's see how many people I got on here. A bunch. Thank you all. Thank you all. So we're going to cover. People say, "Well, you're mad about something happened a long time ago." No, it's not true. I'm fighting the powers in government for you, and it's not out of anger. It's out of protecting the public, just like I was when I was arresting drunk drivers. I wasn't angry when I was arresting drunk drivers. I was protecting the public. I was happy about what I'm doing. I'm happy about what I'm doing. I'm protecting the public. Let me show you. This isn't something that happened 11 years ago. This is something that happened just a few days ago. Let me show you here. So, yeah, let's look at this evidence here. This is, they won't give me my law license. I just applied for them again. We turn this around here. Well, here, we'll leave it. This is just a few days ago. I applied for my law license. Again, and took the bar exam. You can see here, this lady right here is the lady that turned me down for my law license. Barbara Zulica. Barbara Zulica just got officially reinstated, by the way. You can hire her today, particularly if you're looking for a representation before the Tennessee Board of Law Examiners. Couldn't make it through before because she thought your character was concerning. Board of Professional Responsibility gives a sweetheart deal to the ex-U.S. attorney who pleaded guilty in federal court to theft. Now, she was on the Board of Law Examiners committing a felony of dishonesty and infamous crime while she said my character wasn't good and I've never been convicted of any crime. And I just applied again, and that happened again just a few months ago this year. So they're blackballing me, ostracizing me, because they're criminals and I'm not. That's the state government, state in Tennessee. That's what the government's for, to put their boot on your neck and to lift up criminals. I don't even want a sweetheart deal. I just want what's rightfully mine. And you should want what's rightfully yours. I'm telling you, they'll do the same damn thing to you and more of it. And I'm out here to point out that. Let's fight these dirty people. Let's fight these creeps and criminals. Let's fight the transvestite governor. Let's vote. So let me show you what I promised you for several days that I couldn't find. The testimony of the witness where all this started, the profound influence of my life, where they say I drove past a wreck and seen somebody burned to death and ain't got nowhere to go but up from here. While I'm out here, I don't care if it makes me look like a damn fool, which I'm not. It's not worse than what they're saying about me. That's a lie, and they're liars, frauds. So here's this testimony I've been promising to show you for days. Let's put this right here. I got it blown up very big so you can see it. This lady that seen the wreck, just like seen the same thing I seen, what are the chances of having somebody on the scene of an incident at 3:30 in the morning that seen the exact same thing you seen? They didn't want her to see it, so they changed what she said in a police report, committed fraud in a police report, lied under oath. But when I drove past that wreck, because I didn't identify it as wreck because I couldn't see it, it was dark. The tail end I seen wasn't wreck, didn't look like a wreck, didn't look overturned. The back end, the lights weren't on like the judge lied. It wasn't damaged, overturned. He wrecked in such a manner that I couldn't determine it was a wreck. I thought it was a parked car. You know, the Bible says God's eyes are in every place beholding the evil and the good. And he put an eyewitness on the scene that night. What are the odds, 3:30 in the morning, somebody being awake? A lady named Miss Darling heard a loud crash and she called 911. They went and interviewed her the same day. Now listen to what she says. They said, I saw a wreck until we go past it. This is a lady that called 911. They interviewed her the same day. She says 6 times she didn't see anything either. Look at this. You can read this right here. Let me make sure you got this right here. So yeah, she's seen that. Okay. Recorded interview, 911 caller Darling. This is Sergeant Joe Walker, Tennessee Highway Patrol Criminal Investigation Division. It's Saturday, the 26th of November, 9:33 a.m. talking with Shirley Darling about a crash in Knox County, National Pike near Hill Road. Shirley, you understand why I'm here taping the conversation? Darling, yes, you knew. How did you come to find out about the crash? Darling, I heard a loud noise and I thought a car had maybe came down Hill Road and ran into one of the brick columns out here. And I, of course, okay, the first one she says, I looked out my bedroom window and that I couldn't see anything. That's one, she couldn't see anything. Looked out a bedroom window, couldn't see anything. Same thing, I drove past the wreck. I couldn't see anything but the tail end of a car in the dark under a tree. The tail end didn't look wrecked. I couldn't see a wreck. I couldn't see anything. It was dark. Yeah, it was dark. They say it was daylight. And I saw a light colored. It must have been something like a van or something like that. That's something later coming down the road. 2, Darling, I don't know. Darling, I don't know. Can't figure out. 2, it wasn't burning. So it wasn't burning. She looked out a bedroom window. She didn't see any fire. It may have been somewhere, but she couldn't see burning. I couldn't either. That's 2. I saw somebody and I thought, well, maybe the fire, inaudible. I mean, because it wasn't burning before that. See, it wasn't burning. So when she looked out a bedroom window initially, it wasn't burning, wasn't on fire. She couldn't see it. It was dark. That's what she says, an eyewitness on the scene. Yeah, wow. Same thing I'm saying. I mean, because it wasn't burning before that. That's 3. It wasn't burning before that. So you just heard a loud bang. So she called 911 not because she seen a crash. She heard a loud bang. That's primarily what I heard. Walker. Okay, now here's the second page I haven't been able to find. So we blew it up just a little bit so you can see it really well. Here we go. Here's the proof they don't want you to know about. Here's the witness on the scene that God put there that seen the same thing I did. Nothing that would indicate there was a wreck. Wow, how do you imagine that? And they interviewed her. Darling, I don't know. It was real loud sounding crash. So she called 911 because she heard a crash, not because she seen anything. I didn't hear a crash. The siren on. The camera didn't pick up even the crash. I don't know whether it would have woke me up. So she was already awake. She wasn't even asleep. Or not, because my bedroom is right there next to Andersonville Pike. So she's right there next to Andersonville Pike where the wreck happened. And she's not far away. She's right up on it just like me. Okay, Walker, that works, yeah. Just a loud crash. So that's why she called 911. She heard something. She didn't see anything. You looked out your window, and listen to this question right here. And this is the big lie. The big lie that he changes in his report. Did you see the car when you originally looked out? Did you see the car when you originally looked out? Did Charles Van Morgan see a wreck when he initially drove past it? No. There's an eyewitness on the scene. Did you see the car when you originally looked out? And this is the fourth time. Right there, you see number 4. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. I couldn't. I did not see the car until I told Rural Metro that I said, oh, it's on fire. So it caught on fire later. She didn't see it when she originally looked out. I didn't see it when I originally passed it as a wreck. Walker says, so it caught fire after that. Were you continually looking out your bedroom window? She's continually looking out her bedroom window to see if you could see it, and then all of a sudden you saw it. So she's continually looking out, she couldn't see it. Just like I drove past it, I didn't see it. As a wreck. Yes, all of a sudden it saw it, it burst into flames. 6. Yes, all of a sudden I saw it. So she saw it all of a sudden, but she couldn't see it originally. That's what, and then he changes his report to say that she heard a loud bang and she looked out her window and saw a car had hit a tree, like it was immediate. He leaves out that little detail to incriminate me, saying that I saw it. Now that's a profound influence on my life, knowing that how dirty the government is, how crooked these people are. The judge adjudicated its tail lights. Do you see tail lights on that car? There's none. And here I am right here in a fire, after I found out it was there, trying to save a life. Now here's witnesses from the Highway Patrol that testified against me. Here's liars that went on to get promoted. Here's their witness list. Christopher Dye. Now I don't think he lied. James Filler, one of the biggest liars. Cameron Human Resource. DA Randy Nichols was a liar. Lied right here in Knox County. Wrote a lie, tried to incriminate me, even said stuff that he said wasn't true, that he rang a bell and took it back later. J.G. Pollock, their expert witness that lied, that said you can see stuff better in the dark than you can in the daylight. Wow, what a whopping lie. That was a witness they had to hire because I had their witness tied up telling the truth on my side. Listen, now look at these people that lied on me. This is their witnesses. They got awards after this. Major Cheryl Sanders, biggest liar, big fat liar. Lieutenant Kim Ogle, that went on to get captain after that, that helped her buddy out that stole money from the public in Sevier County. Now look at this, the liar, Sergeant Stacy Heatherly, that's now Major Stacy Heatherly, part of this lie, backing up this lie. You lie for the government, you get promoted. Look at this, Sergeant Shannon Binkley. And look at this big liar, Sergeant Terrell Johnson. Now, I've already showed you where that liar lied under oath. I promised to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help me God, and then went on to lie. And then was even questioned about the lie, and he still stuck to his lie. He ought to go to jail. His ass ought to go to jail. Look at that Sergeant Terrell Johnson. I think he's a major now. Sergeant Ronald Cockrell. Well, he talked to me like a dog in that interview, Sergeant Ronald Cockrell. Come to me right now and talk to me like a dog. I was putting up with it to feed my family. You ain't feeding my family now, boy. Now come to my face and talk shit to me, you piece of dirt. Let people die by your lies. Now I have to tell you that these people investigated, and at first they put me back to work. But then Major, now Stacy Line, Criminal Heatherly, the drunk monkey, uniformed, disgraceful liar criminal, fired up because she didn't like me, and got promoted out of line. So that's a profound influence. I promised y'all I was going to show you that. We'll go over the comments and I'll tell you about some more profound influences that shape what I think and how I feel. Tell you some more stories about the truth later. Let me adjust this stuff here. Put it in my back pocket where I ain't got to carry it around. Thank you all so much. We're going to read your comments and then get the heck out of here. I want y'all to like, share, comment. And there's one more important thing I want you to do is get registered if you're not registered, and go vote. There's more of us than there are of them. Now let me read the comments, turn this around. If I can. Turn this around. So yeah, let's read the comments. Got a lot of hellos. Me too. Are you from Canada? Okay. No, I'm from Knoxville, Tennessee. So evidently the comments are mostly gone. Got a few hellos. So we're gonna most likely be on here tomorrow. I'll post it on my Facebook page if we are. We might take Saturday off, I don't know, depending on how many people we got today. Thank you all so much for joining us. There's not many comments that I've seen, or they're not on here, so we got a lot of hellos. But there we go, brighten it up just a little bit. So we'll be back on here most likely tomorrow. I'll post it on my Facebook page if we are, or if we're not, we may come back Monday morning and tell you about some more profound influences while I'm out here. I'm out here for you. Well, we try to wait for the light. I'm out here for you, and we're going to fight this dirty government and win. There's more of us than there are them. All you got to do is, if you're not registered, get registered and vote. There, we got the light. Get registered and vote. There's more people that are not registered, that are eligible to register, that if we just got a few of you all to go register and vote, you could flip the election. You could control the government, just you. The ones that haven't voted because you're not registered, that are eligible, have more power than the people that put the transvestite governor that promoted somebody that's still in valor, promoted a criminal to Major Stacey Heatherly. There's more of you. You can outvote her. That's just the people that are eligible that haven't registered. A small percentage of you, if you'll get registered, maybe vote for Charles Van Morgan for governor. I'm not sure. If I'm going to run, I might. There's enough of you to win this election. If that's just that alone. If you are registered but you haven't voted in several years, you didn't vote in 2022, if you go vote, there's enough of you, even a small percentage of you that haven't voted in a while, get together and go vote. There's enough of you to overturn this election. There's more than 1 million of you. And so go vote and listen to what I'll suggest to you to vote for. Probably me, I don't know. And both those mass people together, people that are eligible but not voted, and people that are registered but haven't voted in a while, there's 75% more of you. So even a small percentage of the 75%, we got 3 opportunities to get 26%, because they only got about a quarter of the vote of people eligible to vote. Then we can run the government and make them go home and do some investigations and maybe put the governor in jail. We'll make him happy in jail. We'll give him some dresses in jail that he can wear, and nobody won't see him, but we'll give him some dresses to wear in jail, Governor. You think I'm being hard on him? People got killed because they're crooked. But we'll be nice to you, Governor Bill Lee. Actually, Governor Has-Beens once run the government. We'll give you some dresses. You can put on some dresses and nobody will know. Try to keep that secret. We're conflating that. We're not conflating how much travesty you've caused on the road, you fine Christian hypocrite. So we're going to get off here. I want to advertise for the bed store down here on Chapman Highway at Stone Road. They let me put my campaign sign up. The market on the corner at Market Street and Bridge Avenue in the UT area. That man let me put my signs up at both his businesses in the UT area. And one of them sells alcohol, and hey, if you want to drink, that's fine, but I'm not advertising for that. Sorry, but I'm not going to. I'm not sorry about that, so I want to advertise for both those businesses. Those people help me, so thank you. And I want to advertise for me. Safe Taxi here in Knoxville, Tennessee. If you need a ride here local, or if it starts local and you want to go to California, it'll cost you several $1,000s, about $5,000 to go all the way to California. But we'll load you up in the truck and move to Beverly. And we actually do have a vehicle that's big enough and to take you. So I want to advertise for my business, and if you're a business and want me to advertise for you, you know, I've got over 100,000 views on this channel, about 50,000 in the past 28 days. So we got a large audience. If you want me to advertise for you, if you're a reputable business, I'm not advertising for racist people like Black Lives Matter or even any white racist organization. But if you're a reputable business, then we'll advertise for you. And there's somebody's QR code. We'll advertise for you, and for a small price. And if you want to contribute to the independent journalist, potentially governor candidate going across the state, reporting on the news, government corruption, that has got more knowledge and experience than most journalists and not afraid to tear them up. Or as Sharman Tissue Allen told me one time, I'm going to use foul language, so put your hands over your kids' ears. Sharman Tissue Allen, I was trying to get a drunk driver prosecuted. She was wanting to let go, you know, the one at this dirty courthouse over here. Hello, Sharman Tissue Allen, now to vote you out and put your behind in jail. She said, talking about an attorney, because she's a member of the bar, yeah. The illustrious criminal creeps. One of them's a pedophile in the Knoxville bar. I mean, he literally admitted, pled guilty. And I'm just saying. So they're a bunch of creeps. But she told me when I said I would, you know, let me testify. Let me try to get this person convicted of drunk driving, hold him accountable. And she said that the attorney, because probably somebody she knew or something, she said the attorney will tear you a new asshole. What she said, her language. And so, you know, let's tear her a new asshole. Sharman Tissue Allen, that's the language she used to me. Back at you. I shouldn't use that language. I apologize. But I done rung the bell, which is what they did. Said horrible things about me, and then they said, but that's probably not true. Yeah, right. So I lost a bunch of people using foul language. Good enough for me. So we'll get off here. Tune in Monday morning at about 6:40. And we'll tell you some more profound stories. Fight the dirty government. In closing, remember, God loves you. And I do too. Till next time. Thank you very much.